Title: The scandal consuming Indonesia involves rich kids, a luxury jeep and a shocking act of violence. Indonesia has been captivated by a scandal involving a tax official's son, his rich girlfriend, and a luxury jeep. A 57-second video that went viral showed the 20-year-old son, Mario Dandi, beating a boy at the request of his girlfriend. The incident led to Dandi's father resigning from his position and ignited a national conversation about the power of wealthy families and their influence over the justice system. Dandi is currently facing criminal charges, and the case has raised questions about the fairness of the Indonesian legal system. Title: The Fresh Start Academy is changing lives through barbering. The Fresh Start Academy, a not-for-profit program in far north Queensland, is giving at-risk young men the opportunity to learn the art of barbering. The program offers free haircuts to remote communities and people living rough while also teaching the foundations of haircutting and running a retail business. Participants who are at risk of disengaging with education or have been through the justice system can learn trade skills and gain employment in Cairns and surrounding areas. The program's success is evident, with graduates securing full-time jobs in barber stores. However, founder Rod Hodge is struggling to secure funding to make the program permanent. Title: Parramatta Eels enter NRL Top 8 after defeating Manly. The Parramatta Eels have finally entered the NRL Top 8 for the first time this season after defeating the Manly Sea Eagles with a score of 34-4. This impressive win was achieved on the back of captain Clint Gutherson's stellar performance, which included a try from dummy half, a try assist, a crucial ball strip, and 5 out of 6 goals. The Eels' positive points difference of 104 will keep them inside the top 8 this round. Their opponents, the Sea Eagles, were without their skipper Daly Cherry Evans and never looked likely to win. Parramatta's 4th consecutive win confirms their grand final hangover is finally over. Title: Mount Alexander Falcons foster sense of community and belonging through inclusive football. Photographer Mitch Navalis stumbled upon the poster outside a supermarket in Castlemaine inviting women and gender-diverse people to try football. Navalis found a sense of belonging with the Mount Alexander Falcons, a community football club established for women and gender-diverse people. Club president Alana Wern and her friend formed the club to create a safe space for women and gender-diverse people to play football, modeling it on the Preston-based Darebin Falcons. The Falcons are playing their first official season as part of the inaugural women's football competition in the Riddle District Football Netball League. Title: Unemployment will be the last indicator of recession as jobs market remains strong for now. The Australian Bureau of Statistics released employment data showing unemployment rates have dropped to 3.6%. However, the jobs data raised questions about how long this hiring spree can last. The data revealed that despite the increase in jobs, hours worked still fell. Underemployment rose to its highest level in over a year, indicating that individuals are not receiving the hours they desire. This suggests that employers are hiring more workers to ease the pressure on existing staff. While the jobs market remains strong, economists warn that unemployment will be the last indicator of recession. Woman thrown to the ground and arrested by police at peaceful church protest gets $60,000 payout. Joanne Warren, a Huskisson resident and member of the Huskisson Heritage Association, has received a $60,000 compensation payout from New South Wales Police after being wrongfully handcuffed and detained while walking by a peaceful protest to protect a heritage church on the New South Wales south coast. Ms. Warren was assaulted while trying to protect one of the other community members from being pushed by a police officer, thrown to the ground and arrested. The payment covers $30,000 in costs and $30,000 in compensation and is due to be accompanied by a written acknowledgement that police were at fault. Counter-protesters outnumber opponents of drag queen's book reading event at Perth Library. Around 200 people have gathered outside Maylands Library in Perth, both for and against a storytelling event hosted by drag artist Cougar Morrison. Anti-drag performers were met with counter-protesters who showed up in support of the drag queen storytime event. The protesters claimed that the event was exposing children to grooming, while Morrison argued that the opposition was an attack on the LGBTQ+ community. The event went ahead after organizers rescheduled due to security risks. Similar events have recently been cancelled in Victoria and New South Wales after threats were made against staff. Plus. Title: Locals join police in search for missing mother in WA outback. Locals in the WA outback are joining police in the search for missing mother of 3 Jenny Kellett, who disappeared on a camping trip in 2015. The police have recently returned to the site where Jenny's husband's body was found 8 years ago, and have uncovered a garment buried at the base of a mine shaft. This has led to a major operation to excavate the mine shaft for more clues. Meanwhile, Richard Whittington and Jed Tondit have been conducting their own search, using their local know-how and expertise to explore mine shafts and try to find a trace of Jenny. Locals hope the search could bring closure to Jenny's family. Title: Grieving parents seek answers after their baby's death from rare obstetric emergency. Description: Rebecca and Tim Spreadborough have called for an independent review of their son's death after a rare obstetric emergency led to his passing away in the delivery room. The couple has expressed dissatisfaction with the care provided before and after the delivery, and is calling for better support for grieving parents and more emergency training for rural and regional staff. The couple is also demanding the implementation of a statewide policy to manage obstructed labors. The case has been referred to the coroner, and the hospital has promised to address the family's concerns. Hashtags. Grave concerns for woman who called 000 from phone box, telling police she had given birth. South Australia police are urgently searching for a woman who called 000 from a public phone box in Adelaide's northeast, stating she had recently given birth. The woman hung up before the operator could obtain her details. Police have grave concerns for her welfare and believe she needs medical assistance. Investigators searched the area around the phone box and appealed for dash cam or CCTV footage. They are asking the woman to contact 000 again if safe to do so. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Homophobic chants bring early end to soccer match between US and Mexico. A soccer match between the United States and Mexico ended prematurely due to Mexican fans directing homophobic chants at US players. The referee ended the CONCACAF Nations League semi-final match in Las Vegas 4 minutes early due to the chants. In recent years, officials have issued fines and stadium bans to stop Mexican fans from directing homophobic slurs at opposing goalkeepers. The US won the game for a spot in Sunday's CONCACAF Nations League final against Canada. 4 players were ejected in a testy second half of the game. FIFA has fined Mexico in the past for such behavior. Title: Australia mourns and pays tribute to victims of Greta bus crash. The Kurri and Central Newcastle Rugby League sides paid tribute to the victims of the Greta bus crash with a minute's silence and a tribute to local first responders before their game. The Newcastle Knights also wore black armbands and held a minute of silence for the victims during their game. The Singleton Roosters AFL club cancelled all local games for the weekend, and the Kurri Bulldogs passed around donation buckets to contribute to a fundraiser for the victims. In Sydney, friends and family gathered to celebrate the life of Zach Bray, one of the victims, with a paddle out at North Curl Beach. Title: New South Wales Government abandons plans to redevelop Glebe public housing block, shifts focus to other sites. The New South Wales Government has decided to scrap plans to redevelop Franklin Street public housing estate in Glebe amid ongoing protests. The government has instead committed to increasing social housing at other local sites. The decision was made after the Labor Party withdrew its support, stating that the additional 22 social housing dwellings proposed in the redevelopment were not enough to justify it. The government will now refurbish 35 vacant properties in Glebe and offer them to social housing applicants. Additionally, a public housing site at Wentworth Park Road will be redeveloped, increasing its current 17 dwellings to 43. Patrick Dangerfield among patients forced to wait outside RA as SA's ramping crisis worsens. Geelong captain Patrick Dangerfield joins the list of South Australians affected by the state's ramping crisis, as he is forced to wait in a ramped ambulance outside the Royal Adelaide Hospital with a partially collapsed lung and a cracked rib after sustaining an injury in Thursday night's match. SA's opposition leader David Speers said the state's ramping crisis was worsening and a code white had been called 6 times already this month across the metropolitan hospital system. Last night all metropolitan hospitals across Adelaide were operating above capacity. Title: Huge rock mass narrowly misses Swiss village. Residents of Brienz in southeast Switzerland can breathe a sigh of relief after a massive rock mass that posed a risk to their homes stopped just short of the settlement. The village was evacuated in May after 1.9 million cubic meters of rock was deemed at risk of breaking away and potentially destroying the community. Late on Thursday night, most of the rock mass tumbled down, stopping just before the village, leaving a meters-high deposit in front of the school building. Geologists reported that about 2/3 of the rock had come down and the danger to the village had significantly decreased. David Van resigns from Liberal Party following allegations of inappropriate behaviour. Senator David Van has resigned from the Liberal Party following multiple allegations of inappropriate behaviour made against him over the past week. Senator Van has denied the allegations and accused the Liberals of disregarding due process. 3 separate allegations were made against the Victorian senator over the past week, including sexual harassment and assault allegations made by independent Senator Lydia Thorpe, which she later withdrew. Former Queensland Liberal Senator Amanda Stoker also raised her own claims that Senator Van had inappropriately touched her. Senator Van's resignation comes after opposition leader Peter Dutton asked him to leave the Parliamentary Liberal Party. Title: Former Tucker Carlson producer fired for calling Biden a wannabe dictator. A Fox News producer, Alex McCaskill, has been fired for an on-air headline that described U.S. President Joe Biden as a wannabe dictator. McCaskill, a longtime producer for former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, was found responsible for the headline. Carlson was fired by Fox News on April 24, and the reason for his sudden ouster has never been publicly explained. The headline appeared during the last few minutes of Carlson's former timeslot and showed under separate on-screen boxes that depicted Biden and former U.S. President Donald Trump talking. Carlson scolded the person responsible for the headline, but did not name them. McCaskill confirmed his exit from the network. Title: King Charles appoints Anna Wintour, Ian McEwan, and Sir John Bell as Companions of Honour. King Charles III has included Vogue's editor-in-chief Anna Wintour, novelist Ian McEwan, and geneticist Sir John Bell among the Companions of Honour in his birthday honours list. Wintour, who has held the position of Vogue U.S. editor since 1988, has raised over $300 million for the U.S. Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. McEwan was acknowledged for his contribution to literature, while Sir John was awarded for his 30-year mission to develop vaccine research capabilities at the University of Oxford. The Order of the Companions of Honour is limited to 65 people at any given time. Title: Survivors reunite on mainland as death toll for Greek shipwreck rises to 500. More than 500 Syrian migrants are presumed dead after their ship sank off the coast of Greece. The Greek Coast Guard has rescued 104 survivors and recovered 78 bodies, but have not found any more since late Wednesday. The International Organization for Migration (IOM) estimates that up to 750 people were on the boat. The survivors, all men and boys from Egypt, Pakistan, Syria, and the Palestinian territories, have been moved to Kalamata, where several families are searching for loved ones. 9 men from Egypt were arrested and charged with people smuggling and participating in a criminal enterprise. Militants attack school in Uganda, killing at least 41, including 38 students. At least 41 people are dead following an attack by suspected rebels on a secondary school in Uganda near the border with Congo, the local mayor said on Saturday. The victims included 38 students, 1 guard and 2 members of the local community who were killed outside the school, Mpondwe Lubiria Mayor Celevist Mapos told the Associated Press (AP). Police said rebels from the Allied Democratic Forces (ADF) were responsible for the raid. The school, Lubiria Secondary School, is co-ed, privately owned and is located in the Ugandan district of Kasese, about 2 kilometers from the Congo border in the town of Mpondwe. Link. Police storm Melbourne CBD tram after man holds passenger at knife point. A 57-year-old man has been charged with armed robbery, false imprisonment, assault and threats to kill after allegedly threatening a passenger with a knife on a Melbourne tram. Police say the man stole items from a CBD business before attempting to flee on the tram and intimidating the driver and other passengers. The driver was instructed to keep tram doors closed until police arrived. Mobile phone footage shows officers storming the tram and subduing the man with a taser. A woman received minor injuries during the incident. Yarra Trams thanked police for their quick response and praised the driver for their handling of the situation. Donald Triplett, the first person to be diagnosed with autism, dies at 89. Donald G. Triplett, the first person to be diagnosed with autism, has passed away at the age of 89. Triplett was known as a fiercely independent savant and was the subject of a book, a PBS documentary film, a BBC News magazine installment, and countless medical journal articles. He had worked for 65 years at the Bank of Forest, where his father was a primary shareholder. Triplett's autism diagnosis arose from a detailed 22-page letter sent to a Johns Hopkins researcher in Baltimore containing telling observations by his parents about his aptitudes and behavior. His story offers hope to parents of children who are different. Air strike kills at least 17 in Sudan's capital, including 5 children. An air strike in Sudan's capital Khartoum has killed at least 17 people, including 5 children, health officials said, as fighting continues between rival generals seeking to control the country. The attack on Saturday was one of the deadliest clashes to have taken place in urban areas of Khartoum between the military and a powerful paramilitary group known as the Rapid Support Forces. It was not clear whether the attack was carried out by an aircraft or a drone. The conflict in Sudan broke out in mid-April, capping months of increasing tensions between the leaders of the military and the RSF. Title: Putin challenges African leaders to mediate in Ukraine conflict. Russian President Vladimir Putin interrupts African leaders seeking to mediate in the Ukraine conflict. Putin delivered a list of reasons he believed many of their proposals were misguided. The African plan includes a call for all children caught up in the conflict to be returned to where they came from, but Putin said Russia was not preventing any Ukrainian children from returning home. The African leaders are seeking agreement on a series of confidence-building measures even as Ukraine last week began a counteroffensive to push back Russian forces from Ukrainian territory they occupy. Link.